welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Samantha. We would absolutely love to have you in the family, so make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Today's video is going to be another part of my top 10 series. Last time I did my top 10 artists. Now I'm doing my top 10 favorite country artists, so it's going to be a little bit different. I had been doing my top 10 songs from artists such as like the Bee Gees and stuff like that. However, I'm doing my favorite artists of the moment of different genres, and I will totally get back to doing my top 10 favorite songs from different artists as well. There'll end up probably being a lot of country versions coming super duper soon, so stay tuned for that. But with that being said, guys, we're going to jump right on into today's video. So looking at me, you probably could not tell I grew up a country girl. I was raised on country music thanks to my mama. She's the one that always was playing country music and getting me into it, so that's how I got my love for country music. So we're going to jump right into my top favorite artists. So I have 10, and then of course I have 3 honorable mentions. So number 1 is Dolly Parton. Miss Dolly Parton herself. She has been my favorite country artist so long, literally since I was little. There's a lot of songs by Dolly Parton that I've known since I was a little squirt. Literally word for word. I was singing a lot of Dolly Parton songs when I was little. So just knowing that Dolly Parton's quote-unquote stuck with me all these years for someone I continuously listen to. And there's a certain song that always makes me cry is I Will Always Love You. So that song reminds me of my grams because it's just so heartfelt and touched. And a lot of those songs like Why'd You Come In Here Looking Like That is one of those like get up, dance, not almost a boogie. That is not the right word for this. And a lot of her songs are just like move and groove songs, so like, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of them are heartfelt and touched to the soul. So Dolly Parton is definitely one of those people that can get you up out of your seat to dance, or can get you crying because of a song being so super sentimental. Number 2 on this list is George Strait. Now, growing up, George Strait was always my favorite male country singer, and it is still to this day. I grew up listening to, like, The Cowboy Rides Away, The Fireman, Amarillo by Morning. I'm going back into my, like, my country roots, kind of. I'm, like, going back to that, and I'm starting to listen to a lot of country music again. I, for some reason, had moved away from it. I had gone into, like, this rock phase for, like, the longest time, / emo music. However, I'm going back to my roots and coming back to that country music, pulling me into when I was younger, and getting all those feels and all those memories that are, like, flooding back to me, because I don't know if it's just for me or for, like, other people and stuff. Like, certain songs take you back to a certain time. So, like, different country artists take me back to, like, certain trips that I took when I was little with my family, and it's just so crazy to think about being 4 again or something like that, like, those, like, younger ages, and to remember all of the good times, and it's just crazy to me. Next up is Alan Jackson. Now, Alan Jackson, Living on Love, has always been one of my favorite songs. He's also done a lot of sentimental songs. And Alan Jackson has just been one of those artists I've literally listened to my entire life, as well as, like, I talked about for George Strait and Dolly Parton. I've basically been a country girl in my entire life. You just could not see it in my style at all, which is kind of funny to me. But Alan Jackson is one of those feel-good artists, and I literally love listening to him so much. And I've known a lot of his songs since I was younger as well, so it's just crazy to think about the fact that I've always been listening to him. Next up is Tammy Wynette. I've literally had a lot of her songs memorized as well since I was little, so a lot of these songs connect me back to my childhood and early years of life, which is crazy to think about. I feel like I had a lot of her, like, more sad songs, like, memorized since I was little, like Stand By Your Man, Divorce / DIVORCE. I think it's funny that I've had this memorized since I was little. And, like, of course, Your Good Girl Is Gonna Go Bad. I've been listening to that my entire life, which I think is kind of funny, like, thinking about the context of the song. But, like, it's just, like, those things that come on the radio, and, like, as a child, you're, like, moving and grooving in your car seat and stuff in the back of the car, and you're, like, woohoo kind of deal, you know what I mean? Next up is Willie Nelson. Now, Willie Nelson, I remember listening to a lot when I was growing up. However, as I got older, I started to listen to Willie Nelson a lot more. So, like, Always on My Mind has always stuck with me. And, like, there's a lot of other good songs, like Back on the Road Again. And Willie Nelson is just one of those artists that has so many good songs that you can never go wrong with. Next up for number 6 is Ronnie Milsap. Now, Ronnie Milsap is one of those artists I listened to when I was little, but I didn't really get into until I was a lot older, because I feel like as you grow up, you start to understand the words of songs and you really get into feeling the emotions that these artists put into the songs. And you don't necessarily understand what the words mean when you're little. So it's kind of like figuring out like, oh, this is what he meant by this song and he wanted to portray this kind of meaning to the peoples. But when you're little, you don't really get that gist, so you like kind of just like vibe to the songs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's super cool to have Ronnie Milsap as one of my favorite artists. Next up is Rosanne Cash. Now Rosanne Cash, I feel like is someone I don't really talk about a lot on this channel. However, like Tennessee Flat Top Box, Never Be You, I Don't Know Why You Don't Want Me. Rosanne Cash, I heard a couple times when I was little, but like it wasn't one of those overplayed like artists and stuff that I heard a lot growing up. More as I got older, like I started listening to Rosanne Cash and like I started to learn more about her and stuff like that. So I definitely think it is super cool to have her as number 7. Now number 8 on this list is Keith Whitley. I've been listening to Keith Whitley quite a bit. Haven't really learned so much about the dude himself, so like don't ask me questions about him. I just know he sings very well and he has some amazing songs out there, so make sure you're checking out Keith Whitley. Next up is Eddie Rabbitt. Eddie Rabbitt, Driving My Life Away, obviously is one of my favorite songs. Step by Step is another one. I feel like Eddie Rabbitt is one of those artists too that I don't talk about. I really need to get back into talking about my country faves because, well, that's another reason why I'm doing this video, is to talk about my country faves. I think it is super cool to be able to talk about the people that you love and adore, so yeah. Number 10 is Ricky Van Shelton. Now, I feel like I don't talk about him either, so I low-key feel bad about not, like, discussing these people on my channel before, but, like, that's what I'm trying to bring, like, the country music into my channel and, like, work it in. So I'm probably going to be doing my top 10 favorite songs from different country artists coming up super duper soon, so look out for that. Yeah, Ricky Van Shelton's just a really, really good artist. So next up, we're going to be doing some honorable mentions. Okay, so number 1 on honorable mentions is Brooks and Dunn. Brooks and Dunn, I've been listening to since a long, long time ago. I have always loved Boot Scoot and Boogie, Neon Moon, Brand New Man, Red Dirt Road. I cannot talk about how many times I have gone back to just listening to Brooks and Dunn, and I know a long time ago there was a trend going around, I think on TikTok it was, for the Neon Moon trend, so I think it's super cool that they have their own little, like, trend going, and I think it's super duper cool to get to know and figure out those kinds of things. Next is Charlie Pride. Charlie Pride reminds me of my Grams, and that's why he's on the honorable mentions. I do listen to him quite a bit, but not as much as the other ones, given that is why he's on my honorable mentions. Next up is the Bellamy Brothers. The Bellamy Brothers. They sing Let Your Love Flow. Me and Tom got obsessed with that song like in 2017, 2016 era. It was a thing. It reminds us of that time period for some reason. I think it's kind of funny, but I do think it's cool to have a song that connects you back to yet another time and place. And finally, Conway Twitty is another honorable mention on this list. Conway Twitty I listened to a lot growing up. However, as I got older, I have realized the meanings of some of these songs that I was singing when I was little. But again, it is kind of one of those things where when you're little, you don't understand the words and you just love the vibes of the song, so you kind of just go along with it. You end up having favorite songs from these artists, not knowing what they actually mean as a child. But I do think it is cool to discover different music on like the radio and stuff growing up with your mom or dad having it on in the car and just listening to it, getting some new favorite artists. And that is how I become a country music fan, and that's how this entire video came to be. And with that being said, you guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to thumbs it up, turn on post notifications, and subscribe so you do not miss a future upload. We have a lot of fun things coming. Y'all will see what is coming very, very soon. And I love y'all so much. Take care of yourselves, and also comment your favorite country artist because I'd love to know. Anyways, love you, bye!